This Red Sox roster move, to me, feels like a domino effect that's going to set off a chain reaction to move over the next couple of days. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin. The Red Sox play baseball again today. Despite the fact that the Red Sox are making me go crazy, probably making me go bald, I hate when there's no baseball during the regular season. It just feels like I'm missing something. So it's cool to have them back today. But before they get there, they got to make some roster moves. And that's exactly what they did. And in my opinion, this is a bit of a surprise move because I think it's a chain reaction move that's going to set off a bunch of different ones for the Red Sox. So let's talk about it. And what I mean, well, actually, before we even get to that, there is two roster moves that were technically made by the Red Sox just a couple of hours ago. The first one was one that I think we all knew was going to be coming, and that's just Alex Bregman coming back from paternity leave. He missed the game Wednesday because of the fact that he had a baby. Obviously, he's going to be there for that. Pretty impressive that he's back this quickly, man. The MLB only gives you 3 days anyways for paternity leave, but pretty impressive to see Bregman say, you know what? I had my baby 2 days ago. I'm good. I want to go back to playing baseball. It just kind of shows you exactly the kind of player Alex Bregman is. I think also him being and living in Boston really helps with him coming back because he can immediately go home. Totally besides the point. The roster move there is to send down Nick Sogard, and I just kind of feel bad for Nick, right? But he's playing in Worcester, gets called down to Florida, doesn't see a single inch of game action, and then has to go all the way back up to Rochester to once again play with the AAA affiliate. Man, that's just a whole lot of traveling for not a lot of baseball. I'd be kind of rattled if I was Nick Sogard. I think we all kind of expected him to get sent back down pretty immediately. Part of me, again, like I said in that video when he originally came up, was interested to see if David Hamilton had been optioned instead. They ended up sticking with Hamilton and going with Nick Sogard. I would assume that home run had something to do with it. I still think Nick's going to make an impact with this team at some point. It's just not yet. I really do like Nick Sogard, though, and I think I'm going to fight to the death on this one that Nick Sogard's going to be an impactful player for the Red Sox. Maybe not an everyday guy, but a really good bench spot. But again, we saw that move coming, so what about the other one? Well, the Red Sox needed a starter for tonight, right? Bayo's still a little bit off, Fitz got injured, and smartly, in my opinion, the Red Sox didn't want to do a bullpen game. My hope is that they avoid bullpen games for as much as humanly possible this year. It either felt like they went out there and the bullpen shut them down, or immediately they got blown to pieces, so I really hope they avoid it. They're doing a good job avoiding it right now. This is a long-winded way of me saying that they are calling Hunter Dobbins up for the second time to make his second appearance in Major League Baseball, and I'm pretty excited about this. I think Hunter Dobbins, one, has looked good in AAA this year, but two, looked pretty good at the Major League level when he made his debut here. He went 5 innings, he allowed 2 earned runs on 8 hits, which is very, very high, I understand. 2 walks and 5 Ks. I think a lot of the reason for it was there was a lot of nerves, right? This is your first time in Major League Baseball. Not only that, but you grew up rooting for the Red Sox, and on top of that, you're doing it at Fenway Park against another historic team in the Cardinals. I think there was a little bit of nerves involved in there. Dobbins certainly won't tell you that, but I have a feeling it was part of it. Hopefully, this is another opportunity for him to really settle in and really sort of dominate these guys. You're going up against the Chicago White Sox. I'm real pumped Hunter Dobbins in this rotation. I kind of hope he's in there for a little bit longer than just one start. Doesn't appear to be the case, but really cool that he gets another opportunity. I think he's getting closer and closer and closer to being, I don't know, fighting at least for a full-time role. Maybe not being a full-time starter, but at least fighting for one. If he's another good start here, people are going to start to have conversations. But anyways, obviously you had to get him up here, right? You had to figure out how to put him on the roster. And this to me is where the surprise came, because instead of going through and just optioning one of your players so that you can retain everybody, they ended up DFAing Michael Fulmer. Now, if we're being totally honest here, I'm not totally surprised that Michael Fulmer was the name that got DFA'd, right? Michael Fulmer, he just hasn't had a ton of success in Major League Baseball in a little bit, and his last outing was not very good. I will say, he kind of served his exact role, which was essentially guy jumping on grenade, right? The Red Sox were getting absolutely crushed, and they were like, we need someone to throw innings, doesn't matter good, doesn't matter bad, get out there and take the hurt for us so we can preserve our bullpen and still win this series. That's exactly what he did, and he's a big reason why. Alex Cora even mentioned this. The Red Sox were able to win their series against the Tampa Bay Rays. But it's not because of performance, right? I think if you look at where the Red Sox bullpen is at, where it's going to be in the next few weeks, especially with guys getting healthier, Michael Fulmer was just one of the many. And that's a really weird thing to say, but you have a lot of guys with these sort of lower leverage to maybe potentially some mid-leverage type appearance ceilings on this team. You've got Winkowski, you've got Cooper Criswell in the minor leagues, you've got guys like Brian Mata, Luis Guerrero, who you would hope would be higher leverage, but as of right now, really aren't. You've got guys like Zach Kelly, right? You've got all these sort of people in this same boat that you can utilize in a similar situation to Michael Fulmer, and I just don't think he had the highest ceiling. So it makes sense to me why Michael Fulmer was DFA'd, but my surprise came with the DFA in general, because again, you had the option to just option someone down to AAA and keep everybody. And the reason I'm surprised by this is because we've already seen early on exactly how important having as many arms as humanly possible in your system ready to go at a moment's notice is, right? Between the rotation and the bullpen this season, having as many arms as humanly possible is a major help. So I'm just kind of surprised the Red Sox went the route of DFAing him as opposed to holding on to him. Now, there are a potential couple of reasons why the Red Sox decided to DFA Michael Fulmer instead of optioning someone else. The first one is that they felt as though Fulmer had no place on this team going forward, which again, we already kind of just covered in the last segment there. I'm pretty confident this is part of it for sure. I don't think it's the full reason, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Again, kind of the lower ceiling of those type of players. This could absolutely be one of them. The second one is the Red Sox are pretty confident he's not going to get claimed on the waiver wire, right? Every DFA'd player goes through and essentially every team says yes or no, and they could take him on and pay him league minimum. That is absolutely something that could happen to Michael Fulmer, but if the Red Sox are confident that he's not going to get picked up on that waiver wire, they may have DFA'd him with the assumption that they're going to be able to hold on to him, right? Because once he gets through, he can either elect free agency or clear waivers and just head down to AAA, and that might be exactly what he does. But 3, this was to set up a little bit of a more impactful move. And what I mean by this is, you remember what I said at the beginning of this video. There are a lot of guys coming back from injury. Liam Hendriks should be available tomorrow. Brian Bayo should be available Monday or Tuesday. Lucas Giolito should be available by the end of next week. You've got 3 major impact players here coming back from the IL. They could have sat there and they could have said with Michael Fulmer, look, we kind of like the player a little bit, right? That was a bad first outing, but it was a bad situation. We think we can improve on it, but we've got Liam Hendriks ready to go here, and we think his ceiling is much, much higher. We're going to DFA Michael Fulmer for Liam Hendriks anyway, so let's just do it when Hunter Dobbins comes up. That way we can option him and not have to DFA anyone else. And to me, that's exactly what the Red Sox did here, right? They are setting up the Liam Hendriks roster move tomorrow by bringing Hunter Dobbins up tonight, starting, and then being able to be optioned tomorrow. I know it's incredibly confusing. Baseball is incredibly confusing with options, but there's one more layer to this, and I think this is honestly one of the more interesting parts. The most interesting part of this is that this opens up a roster spot on the 40-man roster. A DFA kicks this guy off the 40-man roster, which means the Red Sox can add somebody to it. No, I don't think it's going to be Roman Anthony, at least not this second. I think they're going to be pretty cautious with that shoulder, mostly because it buys them some time, but doesn't matter either way. Personally, I think it's going to be a pitcher. And now there are a couple of options here. You've got Brian Mata, Luis Guerrero's looked good, even though the walks have been pretty high. But there's one dude that stands out to me that could be added to the 40-man roster as soon as tomorrow, maybe, depending on what they do with Michael Fulmer here. And that's Nick Burdi. This is a guy who pitched for the New York Yankees last year, got a few innings in, looked really good, signed a minor league deal with the Red Sox, and has just been flat out dominating AAA so far this season. Right now, he's got a 1.04 ERA in about 9 innings with 13 strikeouts and 1 singular walk. He looks really good on the mound, and I wonder if the Red Sox think about adding him to the 40-man roster as another bullpen piece that they could bring up in the near future. If Zach Kelly, maybe he continues to struggle a little bit, maybe you option him down. Maybe you think he has a higher ceiling than Josh Winkowski, and you can option him down, right? Those are 2 guys that I think you could see some movement on over the next couple of weeks or so, and I think Nick Burdi would be a perfect candidate to do so. It's kind of funny. in baseball how one little move, right? Dobbins being up for one day and then Michael Fulmer being DFA'd can lead to this big, long conversation, this ripple effect of moves. It's kind of one of the unique parts of baseball, but I'm really excited to see Dobbins up. Moral of the story here. And I do think we're going to see a couple of bigger, more impactful moves over the next coming days because of this DFA from Michael Fulmer. So let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? Was I just an incredibly long-winded, nothing rambling rant here? Or did you pick something out of it? Was there something in here that stood out to you? Let me know all your thoughts on these moves in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just simply helps out a ton. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.